Hello, welcome to the virtual neighborhood information presentation for the 2021 street rehabilitation project in the city of Fridley. My name is Brandon Brodhaig and I'm going to be the presenter of this presentation, as well as I'm a project engineer on the project. Other city engineering staff include Jim Kozlucher, who is the public works director and the city engineer, John Lenander, the assistant city engineer, Nick Schmidt, who is also a project engineer on the project, as well as Beth Kondrick, who is our administrative assistant. Communication for this project is going to be a little bit different considering the current events that we are having. Starting with, rather than having our traditional open house, we are having this virtual presentation about the project. All project communication will be virtual through email or over the phone. You can visit the city's website and find our project webpage. The link is below. Or you can contact us at web-streetprojects@fridleymn.gov or call 763-572-3554. This presentation is provided to help understand the proposed street rehabilitation project. We will discuss the project area, which includes the neighborhoods and streets that are included in the project. We will talk about tentative schedule and the major milestones for the project, special assessments, and construction and how that may impact you. Here is a map of the 2021 street rehabilitation project area. As you can see on the right side, we have 2 different locations and 3 different neighborhoods with the project. On the top, we have the Rice Creek Terrace neighborhood, which includes the streets Rice Creek Terrace from 68th Avenue to Brookview Drive, Monroe Street from 67th Avenue to Rice Creek Terrace, 68th Avenue from Monroe Street to Brookview Drive, 67th Avenue from Brookview Drive to the Western Termini, and Brookview Drive from Mississippi Street to Rice Creek Terrace. The other area is on the bottom on the right side is Spring Valley and Harris Lake neighborhood, which includes the streets 64th Avenue from Central Avenue to Arthur Street, Arthur Street from Camelot Lane to Mississippi Street, Camelot Lane from Arthur Street to Squire Drive, and Squire Drive from Rice Creek Road to Camelot Lane. The tentative schedule for the project includes this neighborhood informational virtual presentation, which you are watching now. After receiving comments and questions from this presentation, we will then bring a feasibility study and set improvement hearing date for the December 21st council meeting. We will then have the preliminary assessment hearing on January 25th, 2021. We will then award project to the contractor in February. We will then plan on beginning construction in May or June of 2021, with the plan of completing the construction by September of 2021. And then we'll have our final assessment hearing in October of 2021. The project is included in the comprehensive street plan. Council adopted the plan for maintaining city streets and alley system. The city of Fridley has approximately 81 miles of local streets and alleys, and the city has spent $4.1 million in pavement rehabilitation over the last 5 years. On the right side, you can see the map of the street resurfacing plan for the next 10 years. So it's the 2020 to 2030 plan. The areas in the circles include the neighborhoods that are included in the 2021 street rehabilitation project. The comprehensive street plan is created based off the street program analysis. When considering selecting a project, we look at the items below. For the 2021 street rehabilitation project, the streets that are selected for the project are in bold below. The bolded items include the street condition and ranking, which we yearly inspect the pavement to figure out the condition and ranking, the high maintenance levels, which we work closely with our Public Works Street Department to figure out the areas that need the most maintenance, need for utility replacements, we work with our Public Works utilities to figure out where the water main breaks are and other utility replacements. We look at our available funding for the project. And with this project, the city did receive a petition from the Rice Creek Terrace neighborhood in 2019 to do a project. On this slide, you can see some of the existing conditions of the selected streets in the project area. From the photos, you can see that these streets are in tough condition, have had high maintenance levels, have broken pavement areas, and have had major cracking areas. Street improvements for the project include 2.2 miles of streets in the project area, where we will remove and replace the bituminous pavement, and we will also replace broken or settled curb along the project. There will be utility work on the project. The utility work includes water main replacement in select segments. These segments are all in the Rice Creek Terrace neighborhood. The segments include on Rice Creek Terrace in between 68th Avenue and Madison Street, as well as on Rice Creek Terrace between Oakley Street and Brookview Drive. On Monroe Street, it will be near 68th Avenue to Washington Street, as well as a little piece on 68th Avenue near Monroe Street. And then on Brookview Drive in between 68th Avenue and Rice Creek Terrace. The sanitary and storm sewer mains are in good condition, so we do not anticipate any sanitary or storm sewer work to be taking place on the project. Staff will coordinate with the private utility companies to hopefully allow them to, if they need any work to be done, that they get out before us, so that once we pave, that they're not coming in later years to rip up the new pavement that is placed. Here is some construction information for the project. This includes access to your property. We will work with the contractor to allow access to your driveways during construction, except during major construction activities, which might include when they're working in front of your driveway. On-street parking. We ask that you please do not park on the street during construction. Temporary water shutoffs. The city water will require to be temporarily shut off during hydrant and valve replacements. This might require a shutoff for a few hours while they're doing the work. There might be temporary water. During water main replacement, areas will be placed on temporary water for a short period of time until the work is completed. Project updates and notifications. Residents will receive notification prior to significant work. This will include major project milestones, road closures, water shutoffs, utility repairs, and driveway coordination. Proposed special assessments are part of the project. We have two different types of special assessments. The first being low density residential, LDR. That includes those lots with 4 or fewer dwelling units. The assessment is based on per lot basis, and LDR units receive an equal assessment. The second being non-low density residential, NLDR, and these include commercial, industrial, manufacturing, tax exempt, institutional, and medium and high density residential lots. Frontages will be assessed actual project costs based on lineal footage of streets being maintained adjacent to front, side, or rear lot sides. For this project, all lots are part of the LDR special assessment. Here is a map of the assessed properties on the right side. The parcels that are being assessed are in blue for the project. We have 229 properties that are going to be assessed under the low density residential. With our policy, the properties that are being assessed are the properties that have driveways connected to the streets that are being resurfaced. And assessments are based on actual construction costs. Here's a look at the LDR property assessment history based off our recent projects that the city has done with special assessments. As you can see, the special assessments have a range between $2,000 to $2,800 for most of our reconstruction projects. We have a note there for the 2017-01 project with the $1,867. That project was mainly a mill and overlay. The 2021 street rehabilitation project is mainly going to be a mill and overlay, so we'd anticipate that the special assessment will be somewhat in that range, if not lower. Payment options for the special assessments include option 1, you can pay a lump sum payment within 30 days of the final assessment hearing, which would be in October, November of 2021. Option 2 is amount assessed to property taxes and paid over a 10-year term with an interest rate to be calculated by the finance director as 2% over prime. The most recent 2021 constructed year in 2020 had an interest rate of 5.25%. Option 3 is senior citizens meeting certain criteria may request to have the assessment deferred until the future sale of the property. To qualify, you would need to be 65 or older, income level, etc. And the interest does accrue until the property is sold. What to expect during construction? The next few slides I'll have photos and discuss about different aspects of the project. The first item is temporary water. In the areas where we will be replacing water main, we will be putting those houses affected on temporary water to allow for the continuation of water into those houses while the water main is being worked on. You may see an above ground pipe connecting to each of the houses affected for the temporary water. You may see some of the water main valve replacements. These valves could be in the street or in the boulevard, in these areas where the water main replacements are going to be taking place. For the water main replacement, the contractor will dig down to the location of the existing water main, generally 7 to 10 feet, and replace the old pipe with the new pipe in those areas that were shown on the map earlier for water main replacement. Here's another photo of the water main replacement taking place. As you can see, the contractor will dig down 7 to 10 feet around the other existing utilities to replace the old pipe with the new pipe. Along with the water main replacement and the water main gate valves being replaced, we also might be replacing the fire hydrants in certain locations with the water main work. We might also do spot curb removal and replacement. We will go out and inspect the curb lines along the corridor for any damage, broken, settled, or drainage issues for the curb lines that are in the project area. We do not replace all of the curb, but only the curb that needs to be replaced in the project. A majority of the streets in the project will have the asphalt milled for removal. This process includes removing 1.5 to 2 inches of the existing bituminous surface to create this milled surface as you see in the photo. The street is then ready for an overlay for the final lift. The streets with the utility work taking place in the project will have the asphalt reclaimed for removal. This process includes pulverizing the existing bituminous surface and the aggregate base together about 8 inches down to create this aggregate base material. Here is a photo of the asphalt reclaimer going through and doing the reclaiming process. Here's a photo after the reclaiming process is done. As you can see, the difference between the milled surface, as we saw in the previous slides, we will have a gravel road in the areas where the utility work is taking place. After the reclaiming process is done, the contractor will come through and then grade out the aggregate base. The contractor will remove the excess reclaim off-site. Only the streets that are reclaimed will need the aggregate base graded. After the contractor is done grading and the utility work is done, the contractor will then finish up with the grading and the compaction to get the base ready for the first lift of asphalt. On the reclaimed streets, after the utility work and the grading is done and we have the compaction needed on the base, the contractor will then come in and pave the base course, the first lift of asphalt. After the utility work is completed and the first lift of asphalt is paved, the contractor will then begin on the boulevard restoration. Restoration will include all the areas that are disturbed during the construction in the project area. After the restoration is completed, the contractor will then come in and pave the final lift of asphalt in both the milled section and in the reclaimed section. After we put down the final layer of asphalt, we cut the street and fill in these streets with an elastic rubber asphaltic agent. These cuts are made about every 40 feet and at manhole and gate valve locations. With the freezing and thawing in Minnesota, things move and you end up with cracks across the street. Even on a brand new street with a new gravel base, the street will move and you will get a few cracks starting the first winter. When we make these saw cuts, we tell the road where to crack on a nice clean line. Water is sealed from getting into the crack and causing further damage. It really adds to the life of the street. Here is a photo of a project after it has been completed, and it is the goal of what the street will look like after we are done with construction. You were sent a resident questionnaire along with a letter informing you about this virtual presentation. You can send that back to us via mail, you can scan it and email it to us, or as the bottom right bullet says, there's an option to complete the questionnaire via SurveyMonkey. The link for the SurveyMonkey is on our project website. If you have lost or damaged the questionnaire, you can also find the resident questionnaire on our project website. The questionnaire helps us with the project. It asks about if you have a sprinkler system, invisible pet fence, if you have any plans for driveway or private utility repairs, if you have any water or sewer services issues, if you have a home business, if there's any dates of special events, family gatherings, graduations, etc. that we need to know about that could impact with construction. If there's any existing utility or drainage issues, or if you have any special access needs. Thank you for watching this virtual presentation on the project. Please contact the engineering division if you have any questions or concerns. I am Brandon Brodhaig. I'm the project engineer. You can contact me at 763-238-8086, or you can contact Nick Schmidt, who is also a project engineer, at 763-238-8058. Or if you have general questions and you want to contact the engineering division, you'll contact Beth Condrick at 763-572-3554. You can always email us at web-streetprojects@fridleymn.gov, or you can sign up for project updates and notifications. You can bookmark us. We have a 2021 street rehabilitation project page at the link below, or you can search street projects on the city website, fridleymn.gov. We will email updates, so please feel free to provide your contact information. Thank you. Have a nice day.